The Federation starship USS Kelvin investigates a lightning storm in space in 2233. Narada, a Romulan ship, emerges from the storm and strikes the Kelvin, rendering it defenseless. Isle, Clifton Collins, Jr., Narada's first officer, insists that Kelvin's captain Robow, Farhan Tahir, come on board to broker a truce. Robow is interrogated about the present stardate and Ambassador Spock he does not recognize. Nero, Eric Bana, Narada's commander, kills him and resumes the attack on the Kelvin, including his pregnant wife Winona, Jennifer Morrison, to evacuate ship while he pilots the Kelvin into a collision course with Narada. Kirk gives up his life to secure Winona's survival during the birth of James Tiberius Kirk, Chris Pine. 17 years later, a young Spock is accepted into the Vulcan Science Academy on the planet Vulcan. His peers have always mocked him as a half-human, half-Vulcan, and he despises any mention of his human mother. Realizing that his human mother, Amanda, is viewed as a disadvantage by the Academy, he instead joins Starfleet. Kirk develops into a reckless but clever young adult on Earth. Following a bar brawl with Starfleet cadets who were accompanying Nyota Uhura, Kirk encounters Commander Christopher Pike, who pushes him to enlist in Starfleet Academy. Your father was the captain of a starship for 12 minutes and saved 800 lives. I defy you to do better. Where Kirk meets and befriends Dr. Leonard Bones McCoy, who lost everything in his divorce save his bones. Commander Spock accuses Kirk of cheating during the Kobayashi Maru simulation 3 years later. The simulation requires cadet leaders to face death while protecting the crew in a no-win scenario, but Kirk cheats by inserting a subroutine that changes the scenario and allows him to win. Kirk claims that cheating was permitted since the simulation was intended to be unbeatable. Spock claims that Kirk not only cheated, but also missed the simulation's most vital lesson. A captain cannot cheat death. A distress signal from Vulcan interrupts the disciplinary hearing. With the primary fleet out of range, McCoy and Kirk board Pike's ship, the Enterprise. Kirk is grounded due to his academic punishment, but McCoy argues that Kirk is his patient, and he will not leave on the mission until he is permitted to bring Kirk along. Uhura is Spock's favorite student, and she is assigned to the Enterprise. The Enterprise is a few minutes late departing because the new captains, Pavel Chekhov and Hikaru Sulu, had not disengaged the external inertial dampener, resulting in the warp drive not engaging. Kirk defies procedure to convince Pike that the lightning storm recorded near Vulcan, shortly after which Vulcan was attacked by a Romulan ship and made a distress signal to Earth, is similar to the one that occurred when he was born. When the Enterprise arrives, the fleet has been destroyed, and Narada has begun drilling into Vulcan's core. Narada attacks the Enterprise, and Pike surrenders, handing over command to Spock and appointing Kirk to first officer. Kirk, Hikaru Sulu, and Chief Engineer Olsen launch into space to reach the drilling platform. While Olsen is killed mid-jump, Kirk and Sulu successfully reach and disable the drill, but are unable to prevent Nero from firing red matter into Vulcan's core, resulting in the formation of an artificial black hole that destroys Vulcan. Spock's father, Sarek, and the High Council are saved by the Enterprise before the planet is destroyed, but his mother Amanda perishes before the transporter can properly lock onto her. Only 10,000 Vulcans are per Pike in order to get access to Earth's defense codes. Nero states that he intends to annihilate all Federation worlds, beginning with Earth. Uhura appears to have love feelings for Spock. Spock deduces that the Narada is from the future and has utilized black hole technology to build a time portal. Beginning with the attack on the USS Kelvin, Nero's presence altered the course of history and created an alternate universe. Spock maroons Kirk on Delta Vega when he attempted mutiny. Kirk intended to go after Nero and the Narada, but Spock wants to connect with the rest of Starfleet in the Laurentian system, per Captain Pike's orders. Kirk meets an older Spock, from the original timeline, Leonard Nimoy, on the planet, who explains that he and Nero are from 2387. Spock attempted to stop a supernova in the future by creating an artificial black hole out of red matter at Romulus. However, his scheme failed, resulting in the deaths of Nero's family and Romulus went back in time. Spock rapidly discovered, altering history and creating a parallel reality. Following Spock's arrival, Nero imprisoned him on Delta Vega to witness Vulcan's demise in retaliation. When Kirk and the elder Spock arrive at a Starfleet outpost on Delta Vega, they meet Montgomery Scotty Scott, who assists them by creating a trans-warp beam device that allows both him and Kirk to beam onto the Enterprise while it is traveling at warp speed. Following the elder Spock's suggestion, Kirk provokes the younger Spock into attacking him, forcing Spock to admit that he is emotionally damaged and hand over command to Kirk. Spock chooses to assist Kirk after speaking with Sarek. While the Enterprise is hidden under Titan's gas clouds, Kirk and Spock beam on board Narada. Uhura discloses to Spock that her first name is Nyota. Kirk confronts Nero and Isle, killing the latter and saving Pike, while Spock destroys the drill with the Elder Spock spacecraft. Spock steers Narada away from Earth, causing his ship to collide with Nero's. Kirk, Pike, and Spock are beamed aboard the Enterprise. The red matter is ignited when the older Spock's ship and Narada collide. Kirk offers Nero assistance in escaping, but Nero refuses, causing Kirk to issue the order to fire, dooming Narada to be devoured in a black hole from which the Enterprise can only barely escape. Pike is promoted to Rear Admiral, while Kirk is promoted to Captain and given command of the Enterprise. Spock meets his older self, who convinces him to continue serving in Starfleet, pushing him to do what seems right rather than what is reasonable for once. Spock continues in Starfleet, rising to the rank of first officer under Kirk's leadership. The Enterprise enters warp as the elder Spock delivers his "where no one has gone before" address.